Hey YouTube, how's it going? My name is John Elliott, and my name I go by on YouTube is JEcustoms. It's just kind of something I came up with to attach to something I showcase, some of my skills. I've uploaded a couple videos. I mean, they're nothing special right now, so I thought I'd do a brief bio and kind of tell you more about myself. I went to school as a diesel equipment technologies major. I love the diesel engine. I don't know what it is, just the mix of power versus efficiency. I've had five diesel trucks that I've all kind of modified throughout the years. Currently I have a 93 Dodge diesel truck. I got a little bit bigger turbo on it, and I got injectors in it. That's something I worked on a little bit. But what I'm going to do in some of these videos is show you some of the build-ups I've done already, and then start from now on showcasing video projects as I go. I'll do a brief run-through of kind of the little shop that I work in here at the house. I don't have all my tools here at this house. I moved about a year ago and still haven't moved all my tools in. But this just shows that you can do whatever you want to do with the limited tools and stuff you have on hand, and still do cool stuff. I do it all the time. I don't get to do as much as I used to, just because I do have a full-time job in the logistics department at Volkswagen, where they build a Passat is what I do full-time. And so just on the side, I do these little projects, and they keep me happy. I went to school for the diesel thing, and I love it, but I worked a little bit on 18-wheelers, and I hate them. They're dirty, and people don't take care of them the way they should. So whenever a mechanic has to go in there and fix them, they've been through so much that it's not something I want to have the headache of working on. So I find that my avenue to release that mechanical side of me is just little projects around the house. I've custom built a couple scooters, and I know you're like, scooters, that sounds stupid, and I mean it is to some people, but nowadays with fuel prices being so high, and I've had motorcycles, bigger motorcycles, and they're fun, but I myself I'll be sketchy on one, and I'll get in a wreck and die or something. So that's why I kind of got into the scooters, and I go into my little happy place. It's a zen place on them. So I built one. It was a 50cc scooter, swapped a 150 on it, extended swing arm, lowered, custom seat, and all that, and that was fun for a while. But now I'll show you in a minute what I've done to it now. It's a new project. I recently bought a JEcustoms, a 3-cylinder, 1-liter, 5-speed. Got it for cheap, $400 from a friend. I'll do a shout out to him. His YouTube channel is Bo the Mechanic. He does some crazy shit all the time, and his videos show it. But yeah, I bought a JEcustoms from him, $400. Needed a fuel pump, I knew, so I went ahead and bought a fuel pump for it, put it in there, fired right up. The issue is the transmission. I don't know who had it before him, but they forgot to put oil in the transmission, and it exploded. I'll attach a picture with it later on here in this video. So yeah, I'll come back in just a second, and I'll kind of give you a brief show around the shop, and then the scooter I'm working on right now. Okay guys, it was actually a storage shed, I believe, and when I moved into this house it was here, so I went ahead and it didn't have electricity, so I went ahead and wired up some lights so I can work in here. I got a little heater I'll set on the floor, so I can have heat in here. And actually that little heater right over here, it does fine for what I need in here. Here's my scooter I'm working on. Like I said earlier, it was 150 cc's, and it's got bigger wheels swapped on it. The factory wheels are 10 inches, so these are 13, and put disc brakes on it. It had drum brakes from the factory. It started its life as a Honda Ruckus. Right now the floor pan right here is off, so I mean it doesn't look pretty right now, but wiring looks like a mess. But But this is what I'm going for with it. I got the rear end off of a four-wheeler, and I had to custom make. You can kind of see I had to put a new axle bolt in here, and had some tubing I had from a roll cage that was on this go-kart, and I was able to, with the factory bends in that roll cage, I was able to drop it down and extend it out to where it hooks up to the mounts on the four-wheeler rear end. It's a disc brake rear end, and I think it's a number 41 chain. It's gonna look pretty cool. So there's the front to back. The reason I wanted to do this was to make room for this guy. It's a 212cc motor. I just have this one on here for mock-up. I actually have the motor that's going to go on it has a upgraded cam, upgraded valve springs, an intake and exhaust, and it's been rejetted. So it took it from a 6.5 horsepower is what this is rated, to about 13 horsepower, which is going to be insane on this light of a frame. It's aluminum frame with this back half is steel though. But that's the seat frame. The factory seat frame sits up about here on it, and it's been lowered 3 inches in the front, and it's been scooted back 2 inches. That just kind of gives your center of gravity a little bit lower, and it handled better when it was two wheels. Lowered the factory handlebars. Here I just have tape on them because I didn't have paint at the time when I lowered them. So lowered them, had to tap out this hole here for the mirror actually hangs down now, but still you just get just as good a visibility. I'll do an update on this when I get back to working on it. Right now the Geo is the project I'm working on, but I'll have further updates on this. I got a little air compressor. It's not enough for what I need. It's 2.5 gallon, 90 psi. Not enough for what I need, but it gets me by. I got some tools. My workbench is a mess right now, so this is a little shop. Got some paint, and I got my welder over here. A lot of people aren't MIG and TIG and arc welding, but this is it's called a flux core wire welder. It actually, the wire itself that you use has the flux, which would be the gas that you would use on a MIG, coated on the wire. It's not as pretty. That one is I think it's 125 amp. So it does good for what I need it for. I've welded this whole swing arm and everything with it, and the one I had on it before was all done with it. It just takes a little more time and patience to get it to look as clean as you want. But yeah, so here's the little shop. I don't do much work in here except for on scooters and smaller things. But I'll cut back out to I got a carport where I do all the work on the cars, and I'll show you that here in just a second. Okay, here's my truck, 1993 Dodge, nothing special, but like I said, it does have a turbo and injectors in there. Did all those just here in the driveway. It's easy to do. If any of you want to know how to do it, I can do a breakdown video of that. But here's this Ferrari, aka Geo Metro, I got $400. Man, you can't steal them for that cheap. All the ones I've been looking at online, like even in kind of poor condition, are $1,500 to $2,000, and the only reason that is because they can get 50 miles to the gallon, like super easy. So I went ahead and got a new air filter, got some new 030 full synthetic Mobil 1 oil. They say that's the best for the fuel mileage on these. This here is it's actually landscaping trim, but you can use some self-tapping screws and straighten it out, run it along the bottom of the front bumper, and that's going to lower it, lower the air from getting underneath your car, which is going to help reduce turbulence underneath the car and drag, which is going to in turn give you better fuel mileage. So like I said earlier, I got the car and the transmission was blown up. Here's like chunks of metal in there. This transmission is light. It weighs probably 30 pounds. I was able to do it with one hand. Just you pull the axle. There's a few bolts on there. There's a breakdown video on YouTube already of how to take it out. So I just stuck my hand in here, picked up the transmission, wiggled it, lowered it down, and was able to slide it out, no problem. This is a 3-cylinder. It's a Suzuki motor. It's 1 liter. And yeah, like I said, people get 50 miles a gallon on them, no problem. So that's my plan with it. It is fuel injected. It's throttle body injected. It has 1 fuel injector. I'm pretty excited about it. It was a good deal, and it was something I was looking for. I was kind of tired of, like I said earlier, I love diesels, but diesel prices are so high now. It's kind of hard to merit spending all that gas money just to get to work. So I got this thing, and it should be a good project. Inside, the floor looks dirty now because I've been getting in and out of it after working on it, but the inside of it's pretty nice, man. For $400, I can't complain. Here's a little bar I built. I still got to paint it, but it's pretty nice. I just use it as a workbench right now. Here's a bicycle I built. It's a motorized bicycle. It's a 66cc engine, 2-stroke. It clamps on the drive sprocket, clamps on where the other side, the drive sprocket for the bicycle side is on this side, and you clamp this one onto the spokes. You just got to be real careful to line it up right. It's got a tensioner, came with the kit, runs down there. All you have to do is add another cable here. This is a clutch cable. I went ahead, and when I was driving it was great. It was going fast, and it'll run almost about 40 miles an hour, which is scary on a bicycle. So I went ahead, and you see this front end is purple. It's stupid and purple. The bike's like nice colors, but I got this front end because it's the V-pole style, and it actually gives you 40% braking power, which is a lot more than this style, which is called the dual pivot. And I was just eating up brake pads for one, and not being able to get good stopping force, so I went ahead and upgraded that. This is it's kind of hard to see because it's tucked in here now, but it's a go-kart. Started out just as like a little dinky yard cart. Put these new tires on it. They're 21 inches, so they're big, and to do that I had to have a little bit more power. So this is the motor I put on here. It's a 212cc, like the one that was on the scooter. It's got a intake, an exhaust, and it actually had a CVT transmission on it, but I went ahead and the motor was making so much power it couldn't keep up. The transmission just kept eating belts, so I had to redo it here. Here's a centrifugal clutch, and it's geared down to I think it's a 30 tooth, which goes to a 10 tooth, and then to a 72. So the gearing on it, it'll go about 21 miles an hour, which is fine for this because it used to go almost 45. So it'll go 21 miles an hour, and it will have torque for days. It just goes really well. So like I said, it was just a normal yard cart. So I got this old junk 4-wheeler, and I went ahead and welded the front end on. Welded the front end on the front of this cart. I cut off the factory spindles, went on right here, and I wanted suspension on it, so I put this 4-wheeler front end on it, and now it has suspension. On that motor, I went ahead and wired up a stator, and so now I actually have a headlight. I used the factory shaft for the 4-wheeler, and the headlight's on there, so now when I turn the wheel, the headlight turns whichever way I'm facing, which is great. I mean, all new cars have that, and it's something that will help you when you're out terrorizing in the woods. I think I'm actually going to sell this project just because I don't ever ride around. I mean, I live in a neighborhood, and I have about an acre, but this is just not enough to have fun with it. I got a little 50cc dirt bike over there. It's fun, but anyway, so that's a brief run through of some of the projects I got and what's to come. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and stay posted for some new videos. Thanks.